is inspired by the board game Clue, but I wouldn't say based on. Of course, all the dialogue you see every single night is made up on the spot. It is improvised. There's no dialogue that's pre-written. We never know who the murderer is going to be. We don't know what the exact clues are, because the clues are objects or words provided by the audience each night. The structure of clues is, first the butler comes out at the top of the show. The butler is the host of the show. He or she gets suggestions from the audience, what the character definitions will be each night, as well as what the actual clues are. They might be an object, they might be a word or a sentence. Then we see the 6 characters arrive to this mansion. They've all been invited, but they don't know why. Then immediately, they find the person dead. The dead person, the murder victim, is different each night. There's 9 actors in the show, and there were 10 performances, so each person takes a turn being the dead person each night. And in these 3 short scenes that I call the bedroom scenes, that's just where you meet the characters very briefly. What are their names? What do they do for a living? They're basically reiterating the suggestion they got from the audience earlier that defines their character. So if I'm an actor and my character suggestion is, say, narcoleptic or nuclear scientist, then it's my job in that first little bedroom scene to just get that information out there, remind the audience that I'm the nuclear scientist. They all know the murder victim somehow they're related to them. Maybe it's their old mentor, maybe it's their ex-husband, who knows? Each night that's unique, that's up to the improviser's creativity. Act 1 ends with them all coming back to the parlor again to recap the clues they found and any other possible motivations for the murder that they may have encountered or explored. Act 1 ends
They're dead!
With a second murder. The lights go out, the lights come back up, and one of the other characters is dead.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems as if we have quite a mystery on our hands.
No one in the show knows who the murderer is, not even the actor playing the murderer himself. The audience at intermission votes for who they think the murderer is. The person that gets the most votes is counted by a volunteer of ours, and that name is given only to our stage manager in the booth.
Working with improv actors, I found a lot less ego. I think that there's a lot more equality with who you're performing with on stage versus this need to be the star, and versus a scripted role where you only have so many lines and so many times where you can be on stage. In improv, you just feel where you're necessary, and there you are.
It's not scary because I know that the people I'm performing with is going to make everything make sense. And in the occasions that you do tell a story beginning to end, and it ends funny and organically, it's a really good feeling.
To do improv, you need to be able to do X, Y, and Z, and to be able to do scripted material, you need to do A, B, and C. I think it's a different way of presenting a certain set of skills. Creating a character, from physicality to vocalization to whatever details you want to hang on this character. With scripted material, you're presented a text. And that's where the character lives, and it's up to you to sort of inhabit that text. With improvisation, you don't have a set of words to fall back on, so you have to grab whatever's in the moment.
Are you crazy?
An important part of improv is the connection between the players and the audience, and even if there's no direct interaction, either through getting suggestions or breaking the fourth wall and addressing the audience directly in or out of character, there's definitely an energy that feeds back and forth. There's a tension in improv because the audience knows that you're making it up, so there's always the chance that you'll, fall off the tightrope, or the lion will close his mouth with your head in it. I think that in scripted theater, a lot of it is doing something incredibly difficult and making it look effortless. Whereas in improv, the audience wants to see how hard it is. That's part of the excitement of it.
The fun part is at the end of the show when we actually find out, because we don't know, none of us on stage know. The stage manager gets the tallied up votes after intermission, and it's literally the last minute of the show, the butler says, it's easy, I know who did it. It was, and then they just move their mouth as the stage manager says through a microphone who did it.
Clear who the murderer is. It is.
Olive green and burnt sienna. Good job, Cadbury.
And at that moment, the actor playing that role has to say, of course I was the murderer, and then explain not only why they actually did it, but explain how each one of these clues, what each one is, how each one is related to the murder.
Remember when he said there were 2 of these made? There's Angkor Wat Ken. And it was all done for the glory of Angkor Wat Ken. The god demands sacrifice.
So you're a murderer and a pagan.
A lot of it's awareness, being observant and listening to the other performers on stage and reacting according to the character that you create for yourself. The best way to improv is like not having anything, preloaded in your head.
The more you've worked with the people and the more you trust them and the more you are familiar with just what their instincts are, it's so much easier to let loose and go because you know that they're going to be right there with you. And you know what you guys can create together because you know what they're capable of.
Soon the god must feed.
Money is gone.
What?
This is
Was
the
it
good
you?
book. Listen to me.